There are women who wake up already tired, not because they didn't sleep, but because their minds never truly rested. They move through the morning. They are getting their children ready, responding to messages, thinking about their responsibilities here and there, and somewhere in that rush, their own needs become quiet, almost invisible. They reach for what's familiar, what's convenient, what requires the least thoughts, and often they adjust. A strap that presses, a band that feels too tight, a subtle discomfort they have learned to ignore. Today, we are talking about emotional fatigue and how it quietly shows up in the way that women care for their bodies. Because sometimes the choices we make are not about preference, they are about exhaustion. Hello and welcome back to this channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Juliana Akinlade-Ogaji. I'm a public health practitioner and the founder of Zane Concepts. And to our returning subscribers, you're most welcome. On this channel, we talk about emotional hygiene, about family, wellness, we talk about marriage, we talk about rest, and we talk about the quiet daily systems that either support our healing or slowly exhaust us. Today, we are exploring emotional tiredness and what it reveals about our self-care, awareness, and how we relate to our bodies. Now, there is a load I call the invisible load that a lot of women carry. It's the kind of tiredness that does not come from lack of sleep. It comes from carrying expectations, carrying responsibilities, carrying emotional labor that often goes unseen. Many women are constantly adjusting to the needs of others. They are anticipating for one thing or the other. They are responding to one person or the other. They are even managing one thing, one project, one person, one relationship. And over the time, this continuous giving, women we are always giving, it narrows our attention. Not intentionally though, but gradually, when emotional energy is stretched, awareness of personal comfort, it fades away. We move into survival mode, doing only what needs to be done. From the perspective of awareness, this is very, very important because when awareness shrinks, small signals from the body are easily missed. A sense of pressure, a feeling of restriction, subtle fatigue. Emotional hygiene is that thing that invites us to notice, not with judgment though, but with compassion. Because ignoring ourselves is often a sign of overload, not neglect. Human beings, they adapt remarkably well. The level at which we adapt to situations, to environments is so alarming. Even the uncomfortable ones, we get used to environments. Many women have worn things that does not fully support them for years. Not majorly because they prefer discomfort. No woman actually prefers discomfort. Do you? No, I'm sure you don't. But because it became familiar. From a regulation perspective, Constant mild pressure or irritation keeps the nervous system slightly activated. It's not alarmed, but at the same time, is not fully relaxed. You see, the subtle activation accumulates. It can show up as tension in our shoulders. It can show up as restlessness or emotional fatigue. Which one of it have you noticed this week? Put your comment in the comment section. When something sits close to your body for hours each day, it becomes part of your internal environment. And the environment shapes our experiences. Oh, yes. Our environment has a big value, a big deal on the experiences that we have. And this is why comfort is not superficial. It influences how we breathe, how we move, and how we feel emotionally. Emotional fatigue changes how we make decisions. When your emotions are not stable, when your emotions are not balanced, you make rash decisions. And it comes from the science aspect of the part of our brain. The amygdala is the one that controls the emotional part of our brain. And so when we are unbalanced, the logical part seems to shut out. Sometimes we choose what feels easiest, not what feels supportive. You might recognize moments where you thought, I will deal with this later. Or something you just feel like, oh, it's fine, I'm used to it. Have you had that kind of feeling recently? These small dismissals, they accumulate into patterns. Patterns of tolerating instead of responding. Self-neglect is rarely an intentional purpose. Nobody actually wants to neglect themselves intentionally, but it often grows quietly in seasons of overwhelm. From a comfort perspective, responding to the body is an act of emotional care. It communicates what? It restores connection. When we listen, the nervous system softens and our emotional resilience strengthens. Reconnection does not require drastic change at all. It begins with small moments, small moments of noticing. The noticing of how your body feels throughout the day. Have you felt somehow today? Were you able to name how you feel today? In the morning, how did you feel? In the afternoon, how did you feel? Notice where tension lives. Notice what allows you to breathe more easily. Ask gentle questions. Where am I adjusting instead of caring? What should or what would support feel like to me in this particular aspect of my life? Awareness expands slowly through patience, through curiosity, through kindness towards yourself. These small shifts, they rebuild trusts between yourself and your body. And trust creates stability. In all that you do, you want to honor the body that you have. The Bible made it clear to us that we should honor our body, for it is the temple of the Lord. As we notice these things, it rebuilds the trust between our body and ourselves. And this is why we love to focus on supportive garments at Depths in Concepts. Because what touches your body daily influences your emotional experience. Comfort supports regulation, and regulation supports well-being. Care begins with awareness. You need to be aware to start to notice these things. Then you can pay attention to it. That's the care. As we close on today's discussion, I want to say this to you gently, my dear women. If you have been moving through life, feeling tired, feeling stretched, or even feeling overwhelmed, take a pause, breathe, and be compassionate with yourself. Emotional fatigue is not weakness, it is a signal. Small acts of care, like listening, like adjusting, like responding, can begin to restore the balance. Having heard all of this, if this resonates so much with you, you're welcome to subscribe to our channel. You're welcome to share it to another woman in your life. Because here, we explore emotional hygiene. We explore family wellness. We explore rest. And the practical ways to support your well-being. Thank you so much for joining us today. And join us this time again next week, where we'll be talking about why our body is not the problem, why exhaustion is actually the problem, and how understanding that can shift the way that we care for ourselves. Till I see you next week. Bye.